You've just tuned in to the nexus of inspiring, encouraging, and uplifting leaders who share their successes and their failures. Insights that will motivate, cultivate, educate, and illuminate your path to a very bright future. Welcome to Shaping the Future podcast. Here's your host, Gregg Kell.
Hello, Future Shapers. This is Gregg, and thank you for joining us on today's episode of Shaping the Future podcast. You will be enjoying the introduction to Vickie Goodglick that is with us today. She is the marketing and events manager at the Lake Arrowhead Village. Vickie, tell us a little bit about yourself, because you got a lot of irons in the fire.
Oh, yeah. Always. It seems like the way I operate my entire life. I've been here at Lake Arrowhead Village as the marketing and events manager for 5 years, just this past August. And I do everything from the marketing and advertising. I work with the Merchants Association to do marketing and advertising as well. And I do my own for the village, and I book all the bands, and I work with outside groups to put on events like car shows and boat shows and all the cool stuff that we have here, because we're not only a outdoor shopping mall, but we're also an event venue. So I love it. I love it. When I moved up here to the mountains, I was working down the hill, and I commuted 2.5 hours to Marina Del Rey. I used to be over at MySpace back in the day, and I was doing online design and coding and things like that. I was into online marketing. Before that, I was in the newspaper advertising business, and I've been a performer all my life. And so all of these different experiences of my life kind of fit perfectly with the position that was open here when I found it. And I had a friend tell me about it, and I was like, wow, that job is mine. And it worked out perfectly, because it takes all of my experience in advertising and marketing and online and television development and creative stuff, and it just kind of rolls it into one. So it's kind of just turned out to be perfect for me here. I've been happy for 5 years. Excellent.
Vickie, you have an outstanding background of experience from web design to performing, to create a wonderful event, the events that are here at the Lake Arrowhead Village. But tell me, with all of those experiences and in your current position, what are you most passionate about today?
Well, because I'm a musician, I would have to say that I'm really most passionate about the music.
Music?
Yeah. I love working with the bands and the sound crew and our staff in the beer garden. They're all just wonderful to be with and hang out with and work with, and we have a great time, and I love music so much. Sometimes I even get out there and dance. I get to go up on stage and MC and introduce the bands and tell the crowd about our sponsors and things like that. And I love the whole thing about it. I enjoy it. It's fun, and I enjoy the people and working with them and everything. So that's probably my favorite part of my job, which is just a small part, but it's a big, important part. So that's probably my favorite.
Vickie, you are the most vivacious front-end gal, the face of the Lake Arrowhead Village, and we in the audience appreciate you.
Aww.
Vickie, I have to tell you, you have a lot of experience. You have some background. You've been from Marina Del Rey for a good time here in Lake Arrowhead. Yeah. You have seen and been down a few roads.
Yeah.
You understand that sometimes life throws us a curveball. We think it's going to go one direction, and it ends up going somewhere else.
Sure.
Would you share with our Future Shapers audience a short story about your worst experience as the Lake Arrowhead Village marketing and events vice president?
Manager. Vice president.
Okay.
But thanks for the promotion.
Okay, well, that comes with all of a big buckaroos.
Oh, I wish.
Tell me the story.
Okay. Well, the first thing that came to mind, I don't know if it's the worst experience it might be, was when the parking garage was closed last summer.
I remember
during
that.
the height of the summer.
We're talking pain in the hind end
yes.
there.
Now they had to do it, and they tried to find a good time. It had to be done a certain time of year with a certain kind of weather and all this kind of stuff. It couldn't be avoided, I guess.
It was just in time for the Desperados concert.
Yes, and the whole Oktoberfest. Yeah, so that cut our parking is already pretty much limited here at the village. When it's at capacity, it's tough. So when the parking garage shut down for a period of time, which was probably about, I can't remember, 6 or 8 weeks, to be retrofitted and shored up, it was tough. All of us here in the office, we're getting phone calls and complaints, and of course social media, which is just ripe for negativity.
And trolls.
That's probably one of the hardest things to deal with, is just I feel like sometimes on social media especially, there's a big mob mentality, and people are just really ready to attack and really ready to tear you down, or tear my employers down, or the village itself. They just generalize everything, and they just feel like they know better and they know everything when they don't. And, my position, having to do PR and having to respond to people, is challenging sometimes, because I can't always, talk about all the details. It's none of their business. And it's also, I don't really enjoy, as anyone would, the position of having to defend yourself or defend your company or what have you, because it's just silly. But there are times when you need to respond to people, and you need to fill them in and make them understand. And that really is just hard to do, especially when you can't really tell all the details, or when you really don't want to, I don't want to rip somebody else down. They might be ripping us down, but I don't want to turn around and stoop to the levels and, say something negative about somebody. So I just kind of have to be very diplomatic, and which I think I'm good at, just because I'm pretty good at seeing both sides of the stories. I understand the frustrations that happen from the public and customers and whatnot, and even tenants, and we get it from all sides, So I really try to be understanding and compassionate, and try to explain things in a way that makes it seem, I just try to explain that it's a reasonable thing, and that we're sorry that this unfortunate thing happened, but, bear with us, sometimes you get people wanting to boycott the village and all that kind of thing. And the thing I would want people to understand is that it's not the village, it's all the, I'm a resident. All the people who work in the shops are residents. A lot of the bands that come up are residents, or at least love this place and love to come back every year and adore it. And the experience is a positive one when you come here, and you are supporting local merchants when you shop in the village. They're the parents of your kids, friends at school. They're the owners of the shops. Even if it's a big chain, those are local people that are working here in the village, and you're supporting them. And it's just, I try to get that across. We don't have to be at war, over little issues like that, or even bigger issues like the parking garage or what have you. It's, we need everybody's support, just like all the stores and all the merchants here need the support of the public too.
Sure. It sounds like a negative situation that was entirely outside of your control, that impacted a lot of people at the wrong time.
Right.
Occurred, and it was all dumped on you, on your very broad shoulders, and you responded with diplomacy, tact, eloquence, compassion, and grace.
I tried.
That is excellent. Excellent story. But tell me, Vickie, what lessons did you learn from this event?
Oh, well, and I learn this lesson all the time from every event. I've grown up kind of being a people pleaser. I'm a person who wants to make everybody happy. That is part of my job, but it's also part of my personality. I don't like to see conflict. I don't like to see people unhappy. It makes me sad and upset when people get upset and don't enjoy their time here or whatever, for whatever reason. So I've realized in this at this late age, that you can't please everyone. And as much as I try, I really have accepted the fact that I really can't please every single person as much as I would like to. So I do my best, and I just make decisions based on trying to please as many as I can and make as many people's experience happy ones. And I just have to accept the fact that there are some people out there that can't be pleased, and that doesn't have anything to do with me, and I don't take it personally. And I think that's one of the biggest lessons I've learned in my life, not just in my job.
And there you have it, Future Shapers, a value bomb dropped by Vickie Goodglick today. You can't please everyone. You can't make everyone happy.
No.
But you can respond with elegance, grace, and compassion.
Yes.
Outstanding, Future Shapers. Take that into account. Now, how did this experience, in fact, the fact that it's over, the parking garage and lot is working fine, how did this experience help you to become successful today?
Well, I think, you mean as far as the parking garage situation itself, or any similar?
What did you learn from that to help you to be the success that you are today?
Well, I guess, what did I learn? Well, aside from that, you can't please everybody. I guess.
May I help?
Yeah.
Here's another value bomb dropped by Gregg. This too will pass.
Right.
Even in the darkest moments, it doesn't last forever. Hang in there, be tough, love one another, knowing that it's not going to go on forever.
Exactly. That's a good point.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I just did.
I agree wholeheartedly. That's absolutely right. And you know what? There's rewards too, because another example would be like when I made some changes last year to the concert venue. I took away the tent, and we added some more tables, and we kind of changed things around. I had a lot of people come to me when we announced that we weren't going to have the tent and tell me I was making a big mistake and all that kind of stuff. I had several of those same people come back to me after they attended the concerts and tell me that they were wrong and that they love it and that they love having the open sky. We have an outdoor venue, and I just wanted to see the stars at night, and it's just such a nice. The tent was blocking the vision of some tables and some attendees, and it was a trip hazard, and it was costing me a lot of money. So I saved money. I opened up the sky to these concerts, and it was a beautiful thing. And I have to say that sometimes when I make decisions, I'm not really sure if it's going to go well. I don't know, but I'm bold, and I do it anyway, and I take a risk here and there. And sometimes it flops, and sometimes it is very rewarding, and it was the right thing to do. And you just never know. You just have to go for it.
And there you have it. Vickie Goodglick, a gal who takes measured risks, and she just goes for it. Sounds a lot like Nike. Just do it. Just do it. Okay, here we are toward the end of the first quarter of 2018.
Yeah.
Tell me, what you look forward into 2018. What is your most important business goal at this time? What do you want to achieve? Well,
just to keep improving what we have here, little by little. I take baby steps, and any little changes I make, I just hope that it's improving things. So I just want to keep improving and learning, and maybe do a few new things here and there when I can. So that's really it. My main goal since I started here 5 years ago, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but when I first came here to the village, the events portion of the business, our concerts and events and things like that, was at a loss. I would say we were probably in the red at the end of every year, anywhere from $250,000, $100,000, that kind of money in the red at the end of the year for events and whatnot. But progressively over the last 5 years, the first year I was here, I did a little bit better. We were less in the red. Second year, a little bit less in the red. To just this last year, 2017, I finally was in the black at the end of the year because of some of the changes that I've made. So I would say that over the 5 years I've been here, it's been getting progressively better as far as the bottom line, so to speak, for my department, even though I'm one person. But I would say that that's a huge deal for me and very satisfying and gratifying that I even could do that. And I'm looking forward to getting that even more and more in the black and actually maybe making money.
Vickie, I know you're humble, but I'm going to go ahead and assign this. You are a profit center, and that's a good thing.
I am. Yeah, finally.
Not a rapacious, greedy kind of gal, but a service-oriented by providing value to the merchants and to the guests at the Lake Arrowhead Village. Ultimately, everybody wins, and the bottom line is revenue and net income. Vickie, you are a source of that net income.
Wow, thank you.
Good job. All right. And all this good stuff, we know that sometimes there are challenges.
Yeah.
Challenges, things don't turn out the way that we wanted. What are the biggest challenges that you're facing right now?
Some of the challenges I'm facing right now are... I have several things to fix, like power at center stage is an issue. It's old, and some of the, we've had some transformers blow that needed to be replaced last year and things like that. I'm always a little scared that the power is going to go out in the middle of a concert. Okay. So things like that are, we have to spend money to fix these things, and we can sometimes do it and sometimes not. And sometimes I have a little bit of money, but not enough to fix the whole thing. So we have to piecemeal it here and there and fix it little by little. And that's a big challenge. I'd love to spend a bunch of money and just bring everything way up in quality and new lights and all kinds of cool stuff. But I have financial restraints, so I can only do a little at a time. So...
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Don't we all? There's always challenges. I have to testify, however, a couple of years ago, a challenge that I believe you helped to overcome related to noise complaints and concerns on the lake. Mm-hmm. That's my perception, is that you helped to overcome that challenge. So am I right in saying that's not a problem now because of the changes that you helped to institute?
Yeah, I would say so. I can't say again that everyone is pleased, but I fought hard to fight for the concerts to stay and not change the time frame. And there was really only one person with a few friends that she said was backing her, but were fighting the concerts and trying to have a quiet night, and not hear it from across the lake, which I understand. Again, I understand. I visited with them. I went and listened for myself, but I fought really hard. And, I had to go present to the Board of Supervisors, which I've never done anything like that before. And we had supporters show up, and that was amazing. To have so many in the community show up to support the concerts was so gratifying and special to me. And I wasn't alone, So that was wonderful. So yeah, we won. We got our permit. We're good. I did all kinds of things to try to make it better for the people that didn't want to hear it. I don't know if it worked 100%, but hopefully it's worked some and enough to be tolerable. So anyway, yeah, I try to, the win-win situation is really important to me. I really want to try to figure out how we can all win. And that's really important to me. Not everybody can always win 100%. Sometimes you have to sacrifice and compromise a little bit, which we did. We compromised. I'm not having the concert go till 9 or 10 o'clock at night, which by county codes I probably could. But I agreed to have the concerts end at 8:30, and so we do for the most part. We might go over a tiny bit for a song or two, but we try to be respectful of our neighbors and be a good neighbor. That's important.
Vickie, as a Lake Arrowhead resident, homeowner, and semi-listener at the concerts, I want to give you credit on behalf of the Lake Arrowhead community for spearheading an effort that could have really changed in a bad way the nature of what makes our community excellent, which includes the free summer concerts.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you.
We appreciate that, and I didn't forget it, and I hope you don't as well. I think our listening audience would appreciate that as well.
Thanks.
So when you look forward, I understand you have some challenges. But when you look forward into 2018, what concerns do you have for the future in the context of your position here as the event and marketing manager?
In terms of my position, the challenges, I have to think about that. Gosh, I don't know. Ask me that question again.
We're just going to say...
You might cut this part of the little piece out.
We're going to say blue sky. Blue sky is ahead. We're looking forward to the summer. Okay, Vickie, you, I believe, are a leader in our community, in your position in the Lake Arrowhead Village, and in particular, coordinating events and marketing. Mm-hmm. You must have learned over time to be better, to be prepared for this. What is the best advice you have ever received that you think our Future Shapers audience might appreciate? Advice.
Don't take things personally. That's, I would say, a tough one for some people, and it was a tough one for me. And so now I think I do it well now. I really don't take things personally. What other people think about me or what I do is none of my business. Other than trying to make them happy through my job and have a good experience here. If people are negative or whatever, I really have to just let it go.
And there you have it. Another value bomb dropped by Vickie Goodglick today. You can't control other people. No. You can't deal with everybody and make them always happy all the time. So, Vickie says, don't take things personally.
Right.
Good job. All right. We, in the Future Shapers, are a big believer in continuous education and learning. Is there a book that you might recommend to our audience that has made a big difference to you?
Well, that's funny because I knew you were going to ask me that. And, I don't have a whole lot of time to read a lot of books. So when I do, I'm reading self-help books or I'm reading, musical biographies and things like that. And I was trying to think of something that I've really learned a lot from. And the book that came to mind was The Tao of Pooh.
The T-A-O of P-O-O-H.
Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, because you've got to learn to relax, go with the flow. You've got to be centered and, Zen-like. And I feel like that's really important for me personally. So even in my job, I try to be centered. I try to be grounded. I try to be calm. And I just love that book.
Excellent. So everybody,
puts me in the right mood.
Tao of Pooh, recommended by Vickie. Tell me, Vickie, we in the Future Shapers believe that simple actions and habits over time work together to create a better, more prosperous future. What are you doing now to shape your personal or professional future?
I think they're intertwined, and I think that taking care of yourself is the most important thing. You can't take care of other people unless you take care of yourself. So for me personally, it goes back to what I just said, staying grounded, taking care of my body, exercising, yoga, making sure I eat as healthy as I can, making sure I'm grounded and calm and centered in my life, my personal life, executing creative outlets like the music that I do. Mm-hmm. That's important for my life. It's like breathing and like my blood flow. So I have to take care of myself first. And if I'm healthy and happy in my own life and within myself, then I can do a better job of taking care of other people.
Outstanding. Segue time. We, in the Shaping the Future, believe that our nation is at somewhat of a tipping point. Gosh, it could go either direction. Tell us, Vickie, what is America to you?
Doesn't it seem like we're always at a tipping point?
Could be.
I think that might be just a perception that's just always been the case. But America to me, it's the land of the free, the home of the brave. Everyone, I believe, is good at heart. Even if they have different beliefs or ways of thinking I think everybody is good at heart. And I think what's really important is having compassion and understanding and tolerance and educating yourself and accepting of others. it's a really harsh society out there sometimes. Again, going back to what I said earlier about the social media being really, really tough on people. I mean, look what's happening to those Parkland kids, people are really ripping them. And whether it's true or not, one thing or another, you need to do the research and find out what's really real. And social media is really hard to get the truth from sometimes, and easy to believe little things that come across your feed, and it makes you emotional and makes you lash out. It makes you say things because you're hiding behind social media. You can say things that are more harsh that you would never say to someone in your family or friend or people you meet. And I think, the media feeds into that, and I think it's unhealthy and polarizing. And I try to understand all sides. Again, going back to being diplomatic, I try to understand people's motivation and their background and their reasoning. I try to understand where they're coming from, and if we can do that, then we might not have so much hatred and intolerance in the world. And I think a lot of people, it's easy to do. Human beings tend to jump first and react first instead of taking a step back and trying to understand the other person or the other side or what have you.
Outstanding. Another value bomb dropped by Vickie. Don't leap. Look before you leap.
Look before you leap.
Look before you leap. Simple thing. Okay.
Let's boil it down.
Vickie, thank you for sharing with the Future Shapers audience today about your background, the values that you have, the directions that you're going in, the challenges that you've overcome, and your goals for the future, and really who you are. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Would you share with our audience how interested listeners might contact you, whether through the village or maybe through your band, whatever's the best venue to have people contact you?
I check my email constantly. I'm probably bad about that. They can email me anytime at Vickie Goodglick. That's V as in Vickie. And then my last name is Goodglick, Goodglick, at, and this is weird, it's short for Pacific Capital, but it's PAC, PAC-CAP.com. Goodglick at pac-cap.com. That's probably the easiest way. We have a phone number, of course, here in the office, 909-337-2533. They can always call. We pretty much have an open door policy here.
And there you have it, Future Shapers. Thank you for this episode of Shaping the Future podcast. Thank you, Vickie, for participating. And to all of our Future Shapers listeners, be ready for the next episode. It's right around the corner. Thanks and have a blessed day.
My pleasure.
Thank you for joining this episode of Shaping the Future podcast. We leave you, Future Shapers, with this challenge. Act boldly today to shape your future, because if you don't, it will absolutely be shaped for you.